Well, hello everybody, it's Thor, and we are going to be talking about Bitcoin. I'm doing a Bitcoin update, especially since we see that Bitcoin and all of the cryptocurrencies have pretty much taken a nosedive ever since Saturn went into Aquarius. We saw a big nosedive happen. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this whole Saturn crisis I see happening, and I do feel like it's going to be rough for the next 6 months for Bitcoin and pretty much most of the cryptocurrencies. But I don't feel like we've hit the bottom yet with Bitcoin. And I feel like there's going to be some events that happen, especially at the end of July and early August, with the Mars, Uranus, and Rahu conjunction that's going to take place, that could shake things up. And also, I came into some new information recently, and the new information is we tend to think that a lot of the inflation that's happening is, a result of a weak dollar, when that's not really the case. So if you actually look at the dollar index, the dollar is stronger than it has been in the last 5 years. So it's like an interesting situation that we're in. So if the dollar's strong, that would tend to logically indicate that Bitcoin would probably get weaker with a stronger dollar, right? Because people would be, putting their money or getting more dollars, right? So anyways, that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. And because the Federal Reserve's been raising the interest rates, that's definitely having an effect. And that's all what this whole Saturn transit's going to be about. So we're going to talk about that and what I see in the Bitcoin chart. But I do feel like we are going to see Bitcoin in the future. We're going to see it hit 100,000. Okay. This is like this is the drop before the next bull run, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, guys. Okay, guys, so let's go to the presentation. And disclaimer, not meant to replace advice from a qualified financial planner. Not intended as financial advice, and it's for entertainment purposes only. Invest at your own risk, and charts are based on the sidereal zodiac. And I'm quite serious about this, guys. I had somebody email me a few months back, and they were like telling me, asking me what my advice was on buying a cryptocurrency. And they were telling me they were going to take out some sort of loan or something like that. And I was like, look, and they were just asking me, and I said, look, guys, like, this is, I'm reading the chart, and hopefully we can get information. But if you guys want to buy it or whatever, I'm not giving you advice whether to buy or not. Okay. So I want you guys to be clear about that. Okay. That this is just another tool in your toolbox. Okay. So use your logic, study a lot of things, study the charts, study the economic articles, and make an educated decision about what you want to do. Also, if you guys are interested in this content, please like and subscribe. My goal now is 10,000 subscribers. We're over 1,200 right now. And if you're interested in your own personal reading, I do those as well. Check out my website. The details are going to be down below the video. And there's a special discount going on until the end of July. That's 40% off all of the readings if you put code name Thor at checkout. So it's a really good deal. It's the lowest I've ever had it. So you guys check that out if you're interested in finding out about your chart, not just the Bitcoin chart. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Venus, Bhuki. And I did talk about this a little bit last time in my Bitcoin prediction, which I made, what did I make it, a couple months ago? So basically, in Vedic astrology, we use Mahadashas and Bhuktis, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are well versed with this, but I'm going to bring up the chart just to show you. But basically, Bitcoin is in this sub-period called Venus Bhuki from February 6, 2021 till the end of next year, which is December 8th, 2023. Okay. And we're going to show you on the chart. So Venus is not a bad planet for Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the chart, guys. Oh, I feel like I'm stumbling. Okay. So if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, when we look at the dashas, we look here on the Kala software I have. So we see it's in the Venus Bhuki. And remember, it's going to be there till the end of 2023. It's going to be influenced by this Venus karma that we see going on. Now, Venus is in the 8th house, but it rules the 11th house and it rules the 4th house. So we're going to be looking at all those indications to be looking at, okay, what are the effects of Venus? How is it going to be on Bitcoin? Well, you guys have already seen some of the effects. When Bitcoin, when Bitcoin entered its Venus Bhuki on February of 2021, that was some of the highest, some of the highest prices we saw Bitcoin ever get to. So Venus has actually been pretty good overall for Bitcoin. So if we think of where Bitcoin was, and it got to extreme highs, it got to what, 60,000? So it got really high. So Venus, however, even though it rules the 11th house, which this is a money house, I mean, this is all about economic gains and things like that. The problem is it's in the 8th house. So this is why we're seeing the volatility, guys. This is why the 8th house is all about sudden gains and sudden losses. Okay, so we might see another sudden loss. I want you to be aware of that. It's in a Venus period right now. There might be another sudden drop. I mean, we could possibly see Bitcoin get down to 10,000 again. And then we're going to see another bull run in 2023. I feel like there's going to be another bull run. When we look at all the transits, I feel like there's going to be another bull run in 2023. And I feel like the Federal Reserve raising the interest rates, I feel like that's not going to go on forever either. And I feel like they're going to have to do a monetary easing again, probably to stimulate the economy again, and then more money is going to come and the assets are just going to go up again. So we're kind of in this like cycle of, depreciation, appreciation. This is the name of the currency game that we're in. My opinion, of course, okay? So the Venus Bhuki, like I said, its 8th house represents sudden gains, sudden losses, guys. Out of nowhere. That's why, like, within a month, did you guys see it? Like, it went down to like 20,000. But like I said, I feel like by the end of this Venus period, I feel like it's going to be better off than it was in the beginning. So February 6, 2021, by the time we're done, by the end of 2023, it's going to be better. It's going to be overall, the trajectory will be better in my view. Now let's talk about the Venus transit. So when we're talking about, okay, the Venus transit right now, this is going to be specific about July. Okay, so this is July 13th, 2022, which is tomorrow, to August 7th, 2022. So about a month. Venus is what we're looking at because remember, guys, and I'm going to show you guys the chart. And let me clean it up for a second. But when we're talking about transiting planets, remember the most important transiting planets in your chart are going to be your Mahadasha Lord, your Bhuki Lord, Saturn, and then Rahu and Ketu are going to be the most important planets when we're looking at transits. So of course, if we're looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, it's in Venus Bhuki. So we do care, where's Venus in the chart? Okay. And right now, Venus, transiting Venus. Okay, so this is natal Venus over here. Transiting Venus is going to be in the 12th house of Gemini right here. 12th house has to do with losses. So I feel like this next month, what was it, till August 12th? Let me take a look at that again, just so I can get the right. So July 13th to August 7th, sorry, that's going to be, hold on a second. Let me put this back up. So July, to August 7th, it's going to be in this 12th house. And Venus is one of the most influential planets right now in the Bitcoin chart. So I feel like we're going to see a drop. I feel like it could drop down to 15,000, 10,000 in the next couple months. Okay. And it's going to be scary. And I feel like there's a major global event happening. Look, we're already in the global event. Think about it. The crisis that I was thinking about this today, and I was talking to my family about it today. We all think there's going to be some sort of crisis because of the Rahu, Mars, and Uranus transit that's happening at the end of July 31st to August 2nd. And I'm thinking about it today, I was meditating and I was thinking, I said, wait, this might already be the crisis. It might be this inflation crisis that we're in right now. The inflation is really bad. People are having trouble affording food, fuel. Those are becoming really, it's going to become a crisis, and I see it becoming a more crisis. Well, more money people put in the food and the inflation because of the cost of food and everything, it's cutting into people's expendable money. They have less money to invest. So that's why I just feel like, and the dollar's actually getting stronger because a lot of this has to do with supply chain issues. Okay. I was watching another channel, Uneducated Economist, and he brought up the point that a lot of this could be mainly supply issues, even though people are thinking it's because they printed too many dollars. Well, if we look at the dollar index, it's at the highest it's ever been since like the 80s, guys. It's been pretty, like, I actually saw the numbers and I was like, wow, okay. So the dollar's actually getting stronger around the world right now. So that's why we're in a very weird period at the moment. So I do feel like there's going to be more losses to Bitcoin over the next couple months. And I feel like, it's this Venus transit. And like I said, the dollar index is 108. It's the strongest in the last 5 years. So, as an astrologer, I'm trying to take a lot of data points, because when we're looking at the planetary transits, what are we looking at, guys? We're looking at energy patterns. We need to take the available data that we have. Okay, so the dollar's actually getting stronger. So I would think if the dollar was losing value, Bitcoin would be going up a lot more, because people are going to try to find a place to stash those dollars, right? Okay, and tell me, let me know down below, guys, in the comments if you think I'm wrong about that. I mean, I know everyone has an opinion. Okay, so let's talk about Saturn and Capricorn. So you guys are aware that Saturn today, July 12th, as I make this video, Saturn is retrograde. It started its retrograde motion a while back, and it's going back into the sign of Capricorn today, and it's going to be in Capricorn for the rest of the year. Okay, and remember, when Saturn was in Capricorn before, when it first entered Capricorn the last time, that was January of 2020 all the way to April of 2022, and that was when we had the whole pandemic and the whole global crisis. Well, what happened? Well, Bitcoin did amazing during that time, right? It did really good. And part of the reason I feel like it did really good, well, a lot of people had a lot more expendable cash, at least in the developed world. People had a lot more money. They had their stimulus checks. They had, and they had stimulus checks. A lot of people were on unemployment. So there was a lot of money that was being circulated around, and people had that money to spend on Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, right? So that's where I see. So anyways, Saturn and Capricorn, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was the history of it, because we have to look at, because the reason why Saturn's going back in the Capricorn is because there's some sort of revisit to everything that's happening. Okay, that's why I do see there's another global crisis that's happening. It could be this inflation crisis is going to get really bad. It could be that food is going to get really bad, and we might even see revolutions around the world. Okay, it could be really bad. So remember, January 24th, 2020 to April 29th, 2022, that was when Saturn was originally in Capricorn. The Bitcoin price, and I said global crisis was good for Bitcoin. Okay, and so February 2nd, 2020, Bitcoin price was 10,000. And then at the end of the transit, even though we had some big up downs, it hit 60,000 at one point. At the end of the transit, it was at, 38,116. Okay, that's where it was. Saturn and Capricorn was overall really good for Bitcoin. But I do feel like it's going to be a little bit different this time. Okay, although this time may be different as the government is trying to correct something from the past. So that's what I was going to say, is that's why I'm bringing this up. Is Saturn is going back in the Capricorn. It might not produce the same results we saw, even though Saturn, when it was back in Capricorn for 2020, January 2020 to April 2022, we saw this big rise in Bitcoin. What I feel like is, because Saturn's going back to complete that unfinished business, I feel like the problem is this leftover business with the inflation from the monetary policies they had during the pandemic. And I feel like, because remember, Saturn in Capricorn means government controls, government situations. We might see price controls. We might see higher interest rates coming in from the Fed, okay, where they're trying to get this inflation under control. And yeah, this actually might hurt Bitcoin in some ways. I want you all to be aware of that. This is temporary though. Remember, guys, it's only for 6 months. And for the next couple months, I do see a drop because of the Venus transiting the 12th house of Gemini. I feel like 2023 though, that's going to be setting us up for the next bull run, guys. Because right now they're doing monetary tightening. And then they're going to have to, if there's a recession that comes into play, then they're going to have to lower the interest rates, probably back down to zero again. Seems like we're kind of in that place at the moment. So let's take a look. Saturn retrograde in the Capricorn. And this is basically the history of it, how it fell. Do you guys remember that? So April 24th, before Saturn entered Aquarius, Bitcoin was at 38,000. Then it entered Aquarius. Bitcoin price went to 29,000. Then Saturn turns retrograde. It drops even lower than 19,000. And now Saturn retrograde into Capricorn. We got at the current price, we have Bitcoin at 19,409. When I checked today, it could be at a different price at the making of this video. But what I want you guys to know is I feel like with this monetary tightening, I feel like that's what's going to be going on. I feel like we could see it actually lower in the next few months, and especially until October 23rd. So these are the dates I want you guys to keep track of. July 12th is today. Saturn went into Capricorn. I feel like there's going to be a lot more price controls, and they're raising the interest rates because they're trying to rein in the inflation. But I feel like October 23rd, around that time, October, November, October 23rd, mark your calendars. I feel like that's going to be the turning point. And that might even be when we start seeing that inflation is starting to get more under control. And that becomes a turning point for cryptocurrencies. Because remember, I'm telling you guys, I feel like there's going to be a bull run in 2023. But I feel like in October, that's when things are going to take a turn. Because whatever the interest rates that they're raising right now might finally take hold and have an effect, several months from now. So that's what I feel like we see. And I feel like the food prices are going to keep going up. This is all, of course, when we're talking about this, the reason why am I talking about food? Because this is all interrelated. Think about the economy as a whole. So government monetary tightening, I see more of that. It's going to be more. They're tightening it up, and they're trying to fix the problem that they left from the pandemic, which was this loose monetary policy they had. Okay. So I'm feeling like Bitcoin may drop until October 22. I know that I might have had a different prediction in the past video, but I have to say that, you know what, more information I get, the more I update my predictions. Okay, I'm going to update my predictions as I get information and as I see the energies play. So global crisis, I do feel like, guys, we're going to do another global crisis, July 31st, August 2nd. That could be a trigger point. Remember, I've been talking about this in my other videos. Global crisis, Bitcoin could drop during this time, and I think we could almost see it as low as 10,000. However, I believe this will be very short-lived. Now, some of you guys might see the opportunity in this. I mean, some of you guys might be like, heck yeah, if it goes down to 10,000, I'm going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, Now, I do feel like it could go to 10,000, or at least it may stabilize at this point, 19,000. Okay, but I feel like it's not, I don't see the bull run happening this soon with the inflation and the monetary tightening that's happening. That's where I see the problem. I see that assets, because Bitcoin at the end of the day is an asset, it's going to depreciate, I feel, because the asset prices are going down with the inflation, or at least other assets, not food. I mean, if you're in the food and oil business, you're doing really good right now. Maybe that's the thing. Invest in oil, invest in food, in farms, right? But anyways, what I was going to tell you guys, I feel like the next bull run, I believe Saturn is going back into Capricorn to stabilize inflation. The inflation of food and fuel is likely to get worse as the Fed raises interest rates. I believe inflation will be under control by January 2023. This will be the next bull run, okay? And I think the next bull run, guys, I think the next bull run, we're going to 100,000. So I think we're going down. Maybe we're not at the bottom yet, and then the next one's going to be 100,000. And from the 60,000, it's going to go even bigger, because I feel like we're stuck in this cycle now where the inflation's out of hand right now, and they're monetary tightening right now, and then it's gonna, then all of a sudden we're going to go into a severe recession. What are they going to have to do? Lower the interest rates to zero again. And they're going to have to start, stimulating the economy again. So it's almost like this yo-yo cycle they're in. Okay. So be aware of that. Obviously, that's Thor's opinion. But I do think the astrology does seem to indicate that, because of the Saturn transit. The astrology seems to indicate that the government's going to have either price controls, are more strict monetary policies trying to fix the mistakes of the past. And I do feel pretty strongly about that. So that's what I feel like for Bitcoin. Let me see what some of the Bitcoin people are saying in the chat. Let us see. Okay, study everything before making a decision. Exactly. So I'm going to look at some of the comments here. CPI figures coming. U.S. economic crisis is taking BTC down with it. No Feds meeting August 2022. Stabilize around 14.15 perhaps. So that's what 567890 was saying. So yeah, I feel like now 567890 says 14 or 15. We could see Bitcoin stabilize. You know, I don't disagree. You know, when I'm throwing out 10,000, you know, I'm throwing that just as a low point because we know when Saturn first entered Capricorn in January of 2020, that was the set point for me. So it kind of gives us a set bar of where Bitcoin was at about 10,000. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel like it's going to go below that. I feel like that's the lowest. Okay, I feel like that's the lowest bottom. But could it stabilize at 14 or 15? Absolutely. Absolutely, it could stabilize at 14, 15. I think 10 is the lowest it can go. Okay. I feel like it's not going to get any lower than it did back in January of 2020. So that's why I'm throwing that number out there, guys. If anything, just to kind of like if anything, reassure. But maybe this is a really wonderful buying opportunity. So you guys obviously do the research. You know, I think Bitcoin's great. Okay. It's not going anywhere. The monetary tightening is the thing that's having a problem. The monetary tightening and the monetary policy. But like I said, I feel like it's going to go up, guys. 2023, we're going to see another bull run. It might be the beginning, early 2023, but we're still in Venus Bhuki for the remaining of 2023. But the next 6 months, there's going to be a crisis, and we're going to see some things. We're going to see some, guys, we just saw Sri Lanka fall. Sri Lanka is literally bankrupt now. Okay, that's one of the first dominoes. Remember we talked about the dominoes in July? Sri Lanka, okay? Sovereign debt crisis. The dollars around the world, because of the monetary tightening, a lot of the international contracts are written in dollars. So there's monetary tightening, so dollars are becoming more scarce internationally. That's the problem. And we could see a sovereign debt crisis happen, and that will cause more problems for the price of Bitcoin. Okay. So thank you guys for being here. Let me know what you guys think below. I know there's a lot of different theories. Some people think the dollar is getting weaker. You know, some people think like, oh, it's the end of the dollar. But according to the numbers, the dollar index, it looks like the dollar is actually strengthening worldwide as compared to other basket of currencies. Okay. So thank you guys, and let me know, guys, what you think. I feel like Bitcoin's in for a rough ride for the next few months, but I feel like it's still a valuable asset. That's what I feel. So thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.